So something a little different today. I just got off the phone with a client who I've been working with for quite a while. It's been challenging to find her a house. So I felt somewhat compelled, I guess, to come on here. Just a quick video. I'm in my car in a parking lot right now. Just to kind of give you my thoughts on the market, the way I see things right now, the way I see things going. Regardless of what you're hearing on the news, regardless of interest rates, even regardless of some of the stats that have been shared, even by myself. I mean, the numbers are the numbers, but looking at the first quarter, I've shared a couple of videos showing what properties have sold for, or the percentage of properties that have sold for over asking versus at asking versus under asking. So looking at those numbers in the first quarter, you might get a certain view that, okay, the market has actually settled down quite a bit. There's quite a higher percentage of properties selling below asking than over asking. And that has been true for the first quarter. But that said, in the last, I will say, a couple weeks, the spring market switch has been flipped on and things are getting very busy. In the last couple weeks, I cannot think of a single instance where I wrote an offer for a buyer that wasn't in competition with at least one more offer. And that has been across quite a few price ranges, anywhere from I wrote one on a property that was listed at $199.9 all the way up to $699.9. So quite a range of properties. The hotspot, I will say, is anywhere in that 200 all the way up to really 400,000. That is a very competitive market right now. So I've said this before, it's a great thing if you're a seller, but man, I feel bad for buyers. It is a tough time to buy a house right now. I remember the last time Denise and I were shopping for a house, we had the opportunity to take our time, look around, visit several houses. If we found one we liked, we could take a day or two to think about it. We could write a reasonable offer and realistically expect that there would be room for negotiation. But unfortunately, that is not the case right now in most price ranges. So if you're a buyer, the only thing I can say is don't give up. There's a good chance you will lose out on a few houses, but in my experience, what I've found is every time you write an offer, you're still moving the needle forward. You'll learn something each time about how the market reacts to certain things. So then you can use that to hopefully make adjustments, with your next offer, and hopefully that will help you out. So here's a few things that could help you along the way if you're a buyer. The first one, I'd say, is common knowledge now. I would say it's been beaten to death, but it is a fact. You do need to be pre-approved. If you're not pre-approved in today's market, to put it bluntly, you're just not in the game. You do need that pre-approval. The other thing you can do is make sure whatever realtor you're working with, make sure they have you set up for notifications, so that anytime a new listing comes out that matches your criteria, you'll get notified. Because part of the game these days is speed, at least to a certain point. But not only that, some popular properties, they book up quickly. And in that competitive space of $200,000 to $400,000 especially, what most sellers and their agents are doing is setting up a couple days of showings, 3 to 4 days, depending on the property and the agent. We'll say 3 to 4 days, and then they'll set basically a deadline for a time to submit your offers. So if you hear your agent say, oh, they're holding offers, that's what that means. Showings for a few days and giving everybody the opportunity to go see the property and then submitting their offer. Yes, it is a tactic to try to get multiple offers. If you think of it from the seller's point of view, they are looking, for the most money possible, and that is one way to do it. The other thing you could do is to shop below your price range. So if you think about it right now, if you're pre-approved for a $300,000 mortgage, let's say, keep in mind that a $300,000 house, especially if it's in the Greater Moncton area or even on the outskirts or even beyond that in certain pockets, that $300,000 house is probably going to sell for more than $300,000. So if you're going in at your top dollar of $300,000, that very well might not be enough. So I would suggest shopping, probably at 90%, 85, 90% of your pre-approval. So if you're approved for $300,000, maybe you're looking at houses in the $270,000, $275,000, $280,000 range. So then if you walk in, you fall in love, you've got a little bit of room there. And if you are competing and you really want the house and you're okay with upping your offer, you've got the room. Something to keep in mind as well with regards to holding offers is, even though a seller or seller's agent may set up a timeline and a schedule and a deadline, at any time they are still free to accept any offer they choose. So for one, you may want to get there as quickly as possible and submit your offer so that it's in. But B, keep in mind that anybody can go in at any time and write what is somewhat known in the real estate community as a bully offer. Another maybe softer, friendlier term might be preemptive offer. And what that is an offer that doesn't follow the deadline, but is good enough to really make the sellers consider it strongly. That's normally going to include a very good price and also very few conditions. And finally, the last thing I can offer you, I guess, would be to try to keep your offers as clean as possible. Not talking about price, but more so conditions and inclusions. Try not to bombard the seller with a whole bunch of inclusions that you would like to go with the house. I'm not talking appliances, for example. That's I guess a fairly standard thing. And most sellers, if the price is right, if the deal is right, they're willing to leave the appliances. I'm talking more things that you wouldn't normally include in a house sale, like the kitchen table, the lazy boy back in the corner, the king size bed in the master bedroom, those types of things. It's not really that type of market right now. Your best opportunity is to try to keep things as simple as possible with both inclusions and your conditions as well. So I think that's it for today. Just a little side note, if you're a seller and you're still watching, you can probably read between the line here and understand that if you've been thinking about it, if you maybe put it off last year and now you think you missed your opportunity, you haven't. It's a great time to sell. There's very low inventory, and I think by encouraging more sellers to list their homes, I think it will also eventually kind of correct this craziness that we seem to be once again heading for with multiple offers. Because it basically boils down to not enough supply for the demand. So I hope that helps you out today. If I have a message, it's buyers, don't give up. It will happen. Just keep at it. The right house and the right deal will eventually come along. So best of luck and have a good day.